Paint tattoos of glass. Last call died an hour ago. Neon shivers on the floorboards like it's cold down in my bones. Stools lined up like witnesses. Bar rack drips, clock ticks slow. Every bottle on this counter holds the same old video. This is a before and after. One shout, one slam of the door. One flash of white on wet black asphalt. Now there's a line I can't cross anymore. I pour, but the glass keeps showing that second I can't outrun. Guilt like a weight on the wheel in my hands, fade in the glare of your blood-red sun. On the coaster, smudged ink shaking in my fist. I see my jaw, see my shoulder, how I leaned in, didn't resist. Words like broken teeth scattered all over that night, then gravel under tires, then nothing but the siren. This is the before and after. One shout, one slam of the door. One flash of white on wet black asphalt. Now there's a line I can't cross anymore. I pour, but the glass keeps showing that second I can't outrun. Guilt like a weight on the wheel in my hands, fade in the glare of your blood-red sun. Rain keeps washing that corner, swallowing sound, but I live in that frozen frame where time refused to calm down. Every night I drive it again. Every dawn I die in that bend. I walk in as the same old stranger. I walk out as a man I came in. This is the before and after. One shout, one slam of the door. One flash of white on wet black asphalt. Now there's a line I can't cross anymore. I pour, but the glass keeps showing that second I can't outrun. Guilt like a scar in the mirror at dawn, fade in the smoke of the rising sun. on the glass. Last calls come and gone. Neon shaking on the floorboards, like it knows what I've done. Bartender stacks of tumblers, crystal ghosts in a row. Everyone holds the same scene, playing back in its glow. It was one fight, one turn, one ruthless little second when the wheel didn't learn. Now there's before and there's after, and the road in between feel like forever. I keep drowning in this ball light, but the past don't sever. One fight, one drive, one life split open forever. Her voice still cuts the silence, ripping right through the din. Words we can't take back now, burning holes in my skin. Door slammed like a gavel, I chased her into the storm. Headlights on a wet street, thought I could outrun my phone. It was a one fight, one turn, one ruthless little second when the wheel didn't learn. Now there's before and there's after, and the road in between feel like forever. I keep drowning in this bar light, but the past don't sever. One fight, one drive, one life split open forever. Stuck at 304, same minute that it happened, won't move anymore. I see her in the rear view, and every bottle shine. Ask the rain for mercy, but it just keeps drawing lines. It was a one fight, one turn, one ruthless little second when the wheel didn't learn. Now there's before and there's after, and the road in between feels like forever. I keep drowning in this bar light, but the past don't sever. One fight, one drive, one life split open forever. Last call, the light is buzzing. Bartenders drying the past off a glass. He sits there, nailed to his corner, like that cracked leather stool grew from his spine. Smoke curling over his shoulder, eyes stuck to the stains in the wood. Every swallowed word tastes like old bag washing blood. He wore that bitter suit till it fit like skin. Every cut, every slight sewn tight from within, turned his hurt to a weapon, burned his bridges for proof. Yeah, he buried the boy just to crown the wound. Now there's nothing left but the bitter soup. Sarcasm sharp on his tongue, little knives in every slow smile. He calls it just joking, but the punchlines land like a trowel. Distance draped over his shoulders, heavy as a midnight quote. Says people always leave, so he leaves first in his throat. Every cut, every slight sewn tight from within, built his home in the ashes, called the wreckage the truth. Yeah, he shattered his heart just to guard the bruise. Now there's nothing left but the bitter soup. Ever love a locked door? Ever talk to a stone? Reach out to touch his hand and feel you holding your own. Oh. He's got every old story polished, ready to use, but he can't feel a thing through all that armor. Till it fit like skin. Every scar, every slight held close like a friend, turned his hurt to a kingdom, built his throne out of ruin. Yeah, he poisoned the well just to prove he was doomed. Now there's nothing left but the bitter soup. Nothing living left, just a man in his bitter soup. Over empty chairs, mop swirls through the ghosts on the floor. He buttons up that darkness, walks back out in the mold. last call bleeding on a cracked wood floor. Bartenders wiping down the same old wall. Blue light shaking in my head, clean glass. I see a stranger where my face used to pass. Ashtray crowded with my quiet sins. Each one sounded tougher going in. Every scar I wore like a badge, like a crown. Now they're just a weight that keeps my eyes down. 'Cause every year I got a little more me, a little more steel in my heart bent. Lost a few dollars, lost a few rings. Thought that was the price of these hard-earned things. But in this window, in this blue glass pane, I see the saddest loss. Is that soft-spoken, open-handed man? Rain runs rivers down the midnight. Day makes my jawline swim and disappear again. I hear my laughter from some younger night. Almost bright. Now every word I spit comes rough and low, like gravel on a rusted road. I tried to sound like I could never be heard, till even my mercy started sounding like dirt. Yeah, every year I got a little more me, a little more stone with my heart bent. Lost a few dollars, lost a few rings. Swore I'd never bow to those old soft things. But in this window, in this blue glass pane, I see the saddest loss. Is that soft-spoken, open-handed man? I used to hold a shaking hand, let him cry right into my shirt. Oh, now I turn away from anyone who might get there first. I traded gentle for something cold and loud. Thought I was standing tall, but I just vanished in the crowd. 'Cause every year I got a little more me, a little more steel in my heart bent. Lost a few dollars, lost a few rings. Thought I'd only buried old foolish things. But in this window, in this bluey glass pane, I finally see the ghost of that soft-spoken, open-handed man. Carving through my broken face. Piano moans. Room empties of grace. I raise my glass to the one I used to be. And the stranger in the window slowly toasts me back at closing time. glass called neon buzzing. Cheap red wine, bartender wiping circles, tracing time. My coat on the back of his crooked chair, smoke in my lungs, rust in my stare. There's rain on the window, there's rain in my glass. Every joke gets colder as the years slide past. Used to touch like mercy, used to laugh too loud. Now my hands make distance and my words draw crowds. But in this blue glass, I see a stranger. In this blue glass, he's looking back at me. It wasn't love I lost, it wasn't money, it was a gentleman I used to be. Yeah, the gentleman I used to be. I remember holding anger like a borrowed coat, telling myself I'd drop it when I got back home. Then the days went jagged, then the nights turned mean, till kindness felt like something from a younger dream. Every letdown call, another line, every quiet goodbye turned my blood to brine. I kept saying, that's just how life goes, till even my own voice sounded like somebody I didn't know. In this blue glass, I see a stranger. In this blue glass, he's mouthing words like me. It wasn't love I lost, it wasn't money, it was a gentleman I used to be. Oh, where'd you go, the gentleman I used to be? Oh, I touch the pain, feel the tremble of the train outside. Thunder rolling over every time I lied. I raised my shield, I sharpened every edge I had, but all that armor turned a decent man to something said. In this blue glass, I see a stranger. In this blue glass, he's begging silently. It wasn't love I lost, it wasn't money, it was the gentleman I used to be. So quietly, the gentleman I used to be. Down his tired face, piano keeps on playing in his borrowed place. I whisper, if you're in there, come back home to me, as the lights go dark on the man I used to be. Rain on the window, ash in an empty glass, blue neon bleeding across the bottles and the cracks. Dawn trying to happen a door that won't unlatch. I've been living with my shadow, like a suit that always fits too black. She walked in quiet, soft eyes, steady hand, said my name like a secret, pulled a chair, tried to understand. I felt the floorboard splinter when her fingers brushed my sleeve, so I shrugged her off like Splinter, said, it's safer if you leave. Loneliness became my favorite poison. Slow little drip I sip at night. I chose the ache I knew by heart over arms that held me right. Yeah, I traded all the tender truth for this familiar kind of bruise. When you live so long inside the damage, loneliness becomes a habit you abuse. Now it's me in this rain so bar, floor shining with blue regret. Her shadow in the cracked glass is the closest thing to love I get. I pushed away those gentle hands like they were fire on my skin. Didn't know the door was open till I slammed it all again. Oh, loneliness became my favorite poison. Slow little drip I sip at night. I keep on choosing what will hurt over someone I could lose. Yeah, I traded all the tender truth for this familiar kind of bruise. When you live so long inside the damage, loneliness becomes the only you abuse. Her shadow in the cracked glass is the closest thing to love I get. I pushed away those gentle hands like they were fire on my skin. Didn't know the door was open till I slammed it all again. My favorite poison. A slow little drip I can't refuse. I keep on choosing what will hurt over someone I could lose. Yeah, I traded all her tender truth for this familiar kind of bruise. When you live so long inside the damage, loneliness becomes the only love you Blue neon bleeding on the puddles by my boots, ashtray overflowing with unfinished truth. She slid on the bar stool, set a hopeful smile down. I stirred my empty glass like I might just drown. Loneliness became my favorite habit. I keep reaching for the hurt, I gotta have it. Choose the poison that I know over arms that pull me close. I don't know how to hold what doesn't vanish, so I drink this hollow heart like it's a mandate. Yeah, I made a home in all this damage. Loneliness became my favorite. Loneliness became my favorite habit. Her fingers trace circles on the back of my hand. Felt like a foreign language I could not understand. She whispered, "You're worthy," and my walls pulled tight. I laughed it off sideways, picked a fight with a knife. Loneliness became my favorite habit. I keep reaching for the hurt, I gotta have it. Choose the poison that I know over arms that pull me close. I don't know how to hold what doesn't vanish, so I drink this hollow heart like it's a mandate. Yeah, I made a home in all this damage. Loneliness became my favorite habit. Loneliness became my favorite habit. Rain taps the window like it's knocking for her ghost. Her perfume in the doorway is what I miss the most. I had a chance at mercy, and I turned my back in fear. Now it's me in this bar stool, and the echo of her heel. Loneliness became my favorite habit. I keep reaching for the hurt, I gotta have it. Choose a poison that I know over arms that pull me close. I don't know how to hold what doesn't vanish, so I drink this hollow heart like it's a mandate. Yeah, I made a throne out of my damage. Bourbon sweats in my hand and ice gone, but the burn stays. Rain makes rivers on the window, smears colors into gray. Neon sign out there flickers like it's trying to recall my name. But it's been a long, hard season, and I don't look the same. I used to stare down the future like it was some open road. Now every turn's another bargain, every promise another load. Where did that boy go who loved straight through the bone, who trusted like the sunrise, thought he'd never be alone? Somewhere between survival and every quiet little lie I chose, I turned into a stranger. Even my reflection doesn't know. Used to talk about forever on a mattress on the floor, laughing at the landlord, let his dreams taped to the bedroom door. Now his lawyers in the lobby, old friends I don't call back. I wear my truth like a courtroom suit, button tight, all charcoal black. I learned the art of leaving before someone walked away. Built a wall out of clever answers, bricked up what I couldn't say. Where did that boy go who loved straight through the bone, who trusted like the sunrise, thought he'd never be alone? Somewhere between betrayal and every secret that I never showed, I turned into a stranger. Even my reflection doesn't know. There's a laugh I can't remember, but I hear it in the glass. Oh, there's a promise on a pillow from a man who never came back. If I saw him at this table, would I even meet his eyes, or just nod like weary neighbors, passing by each other's lives? Where did that boy go who loved straight through the bone, who trusted like the sunrise, dreamed out loud and felt at home? Somewhere between survival and the nights I swore I'd never fold, I buried him in silence under stories that I sold. Ah, where did that boy go? I can taste him in this drink, I see him in the rainfall, on a life I never think. Somewhere between the grieving and the man that everybody knows, I became a stranger and I don't know how to go home. Bourbon sweats in my hand, neon hums, the bar door swings. Rain keeps erasing the window like it's washing off my name again. Neon buzzing over my shoulder. Your drink gone warm, mine still full, untouched in a row. You asked me what haunts me, why I laughed when you said we could last, why I flinch when the room gets gentle, like I'm waiting on a bomb from the past. I guess I was built for ruin. At least that's what I told my soul. So every time love came near me, I cut the wire just to watch it explode. I kept on choosing darkness, 'cause the light felt like a borrowed suit. Yeah, I broke my own heart over and over, 'cause I believe that's all I'd ever do. You remember that Sunday, you held the whole sky in your hand. I cracked a joke, picked a fight, slammed the door just to prove I was the kind of man who always runs, always wrecks the plan. I called it keeping it honest. Truth is I was scared I could stay. If peace ever learned my first name, what excuse would I have to fade away? 'Cause I was built for ruin. That's the lie carved in stone. So every time hope sat beside me, I burned the bridge before it could feel like home. I kept on choosing darkness, like a habit I could not refuse. Yeah, I tore down good things brick by brick just to fit the story I confused. To something new. Rain keeps talking, neon shakes on your face. I'm slow with the words, but I mean them. I'm so damn tired of sabotaging grace. You slide your hand on the table. Don't say a thing, just stay. I push that drink to the side. Stand up, walk with you toward the door, toward the day.
Neon twitching on the wall. My drink's still warm, yours gone. Bartender wipes the same old glass, like he's been stuck here all along. You ask me why I burned that bridge, why I let you walk away. I stare down at my empty hands like I planned it all that way. I kept a match behind my tongue, I kept the exits clear. Every time your hand reached mine, I was halfway out of here. 'Cause I was built for ruin. There's the story that I chose. Every time love tried to land, I kicked the landing gear, watched it nosedive slow. Off the light I swore I couldn't see. You brought calm like Sunday morning, coffee, quiet, folded clothes. I brought storms and folded letters, left them where you read them cold. I picked fights with gentle laughter, turned your kindness into doubt. Every time you leaned in closer, I was looking for a way out. Kept a hammer in my heartbeat, on my doors half inch, half broke, telling tales about my damage like it made the hurt a joke. 'Cause I was built for ruin. Every story had to end. If it felt like home for once, I scratched the walls till I got thrown out again. Yeah, I was built for ruin. Well, that's what I told myself. Easier to light the fuse than believe I could be somebody else. I called it fate, but it If I was made for something better, why'd I trade it all for pain? Why'd I choose the darkest corner and curse the lack of rain? I said I'm built for ruin, but that story's way thin. If I keep slamming every door, that's not the world, that's just the cage I'm in. Yeah, I was built for ruin. Still, your name tastes soft somehow. I don't know how to be worthy, but I'm tired of burning every bridge I cross down. So here's the truth, right here to see. I chose the dark, but it don't have to be all of me. Neon flickers, glass untouched, piano echoes down the hall. I raise a hand like a truce to myself, trying not to let it fall. Same door, same neon hum, cold dripping rain off my wrist and thumbs. Bartender nods like a priest who's heard it all. Same cracked leather corner, same stain on the wall. Outside, tires hiss on the river blacktop inside. Time's thick as smoke in my lungs. Every sip, every slip feels chosen, not sprung. Same whiskey, same corner seat, same ghost walking in on wet feet. They pull up a chair, name every sin. I didn't just fall once, I kept falling back in. Kept lighting that fuse, begging for flame. Repetition like a rosary of shame. I chose this darkness till it learned my name, and now it's all I am. Cigarette embers, tiny suns in the gloom. Laughter from strangers leave shadows in the room. A face in the window, riding shotgun in the rain. Not just when I lost her, when I chose to stay the same. I could've walked out when the storm first started, but I love the thunder more than the tender-hearted. Every night I signed the same quiet confession. Same whiskey, same corner seat, same ghosts walking in on wet feet. They pull up a chair, name every sin. I didn't just fall once, I kept falling back in. Kept lighting that fuse, begging for flame. Repetition like a rosary of shame. I chose this darkness till it learned my name, and now it's all I am.
writes my story on the glass in crooked lines. Every drop another chance I let roll by. The jukebox stutters through a song I've heard for years. I mouth the words alone with a mouthful of fear. Same whiskey, same corner seat, same ghosts walking in on wet feet. They circle my chair like they own their skin, saying you didn't just fall once, you kept falling back in. Same questions, same quiet blame, repetition like a ritual of flame. Damnation isn't thunder, it's the same old rain, and the terrible fear that I'll never change, that I'll sit here forever till this darkness is all that remains. Rain riding rivers on the window, neon drowned in a whiskey glass. I can see the faces in the puddles, winning who never stood a chance. I walked in wearing old war stories, like a coat that I refused to shed. Touched their cheeks with shaking fingers, but held them like the enemy instead. I've been loving like a loaded gun, pulling on the trigger just to watch them run. Swore I was the only one who got cut, but I left a trail of blood in every touch. Though my past just hollowed out my heart, didn't know it taught me how to tear theirs apart. Now I drink with the thunder, counting every scar, fighting ghosts at the bar, ghosts at the bar. I check phones, check stories, checked alibis, chase shadows down every hallway, turn soft words into cross exams, dare them all to ever stay. I called it being careful, said I've been lied to once before, but I was just a mirror for the monster that walked out her door. I've been loving like a loaded gun, pulling on the trigger just to watch them run. Swore I was the only one who got cut, but I left a trail of blood in every touch. Thought my past just hollowed out my heart, didn't know it taught me how to tear theirs apart. Now I drink with the thunder, counting every scar, fighting ghosts at the bar, yeah, ghosts at the bar. Sorries I never trusted, every promise I pushed to the floor. They walk in here when the night gets quiet, sit down in that empty chair by the door. If I ever find a way to forgive her, will it open any of these lives? Or am I just a man in a cracked glass mirror, breaking every hand that knocks? I've been loving like a loaded gun, pulling trail of blood in every touch. Thought my past just hollowed out my heart. Didn't know it taught me how to tear theirs apart. Now the storm's rolling on, but I'm still where I are, pouring one more for the wounded and these ghosts at the bar. Ghosts at the bar. Ghosts at the bar. Ghosts at the bar. Ghosts at the bar.